given me this platform to share. I'm blessed to be able to do that. So my name is Meredith Carpenter. I am a wife, mom, stepmom, lawyer, and advocate. And I am a breast and cervical cancer survivor. And a little bit about me: when I was 36 years old, I went for my annual exam for my yearly pap smear, and my provider told me that I needed to do a mammogram because I had some history with breast cancer. And I moaned and groaned, and I went ahead and did it. And as it turns out, I, through a little more testing, got that call that I had cancer. So I had stage 1 breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy with reconstruction. I was fortunate I didn't have to do chemo or radiation, but I was on some medication for that. And that following year, I went for my exam again. And at that point, I had an abnormal pap smear. This was not the first time I'd had an abnormal pap smear. Some throughout my 20s is the first time I became familiar with HPV and what the virus can cause, and had a couple of different conizations throughout my 20s with abnormal cells that did not reach the level of cancer, had to be monitored, had to be screened. And in my early to mid 30s, that improved. By the time my mid 30s came, I began having more abnormal pap smears and would have to go back for more testing. However, this time that I am referring to, a year after I was diagnosed with breast cancer, it happened again. At that time, I had just turned 38 in 2018 and was asked to come back in for further testing. And at this point in time, I found out that I had stage 0 adenocarcinoma in situ, which is stage 0 cervical cancer. And I was advised at that point in time to have what is called a LEAP procedure, where they cut off that area, and thankfully had clear margins, but was told that due to my history, I needed a hysterectomy probably sooner rather than later. And I was a newlywed at that point. It was a second marriage. I had a daughter. My husband had 3 kids, and we had been toying around with the idea of having a baby together. And so we decided that this was maybe our opportunity to see what would happen and to give it some time. And if I had a baby, that would be wonderful. If I didn't, I would go forth with my hysterectomy. And so I was quickly able to get pregnant and had my daughter in September of 2019. And December of 2019, I had a total hysterectomy. Very blessed that I had no signs that the cancer had grown. So I'm very thankful for that. But at this point in time, I had a daughter who was about, so she's 12 now, so she was about 9, and stepson 10, and then a stepson that was 8. So now fast forward to 2021, my 3 oldest have had their HPV vaccines. That was something that I feel very strongly about. I also have a stepdaughter who's, and she will be in that just as she is able. And my baby, who is 19 months old now, will get that when she's older. I think it's just so important that, had this been something I had known about all these years ago, and it had been presented to me in such a way of availability, and I think of all of the stress and the surgeries and the concerns that I've had in my own health that it could have prevented. Why do I want to give that opportunity to my daughter and my stepkids now? The oldest 2 are 13-year-old steps and 12-year-old. They've both of theirs. The 11-year-old stepson has had his first, and he will have his second. So I just think it's very important to give this to them. And I'm just honored and thankful to be involved with being able to share my story and where I've come from, because learning that Alabama is in the top states for HPV cancer's mortality rate, I mean, that's just huge. And any opportunity to get my story out there and urge people to talk to your pediatricians and learn about the vaccine, and not just listen to the horror stories of what it may or may not cause, but do your own research and talk to your own pediatrician and do this for your children in order to give them opportunities that I know I didn't have when I was younger, and wish that I did have. So I thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak.